So this girl's sister wants to steal her man at all costs. But unfortunately, someone ends up unalive in the process. Now this babe, her name is Amarachi. She's an interior designer living in Lagos who thought she had life figured out. She's 28, calm, the type of person who can walk into pure chaos and somehow make peace reign. Everyone knows her for that gift. Her clients, her friends, even her crazy family. She's engaged to this architect named Chike. And honestly, they're like the perfect couple that makes everyone else jealous. They met through a mutual friend about 2 years back. And since then, their relationship has been a beautiful journey. They barely even fight. And when they do, they sort it out like adults. Amarachi is very excited about their wedding because for her, it represents peace after years of being the family peacemaker. Everything is going perfectly with the wedding preparations until Amarachi starts noticing something weird about her younger sister, Ngozi. Ngozi begins acting strange around Chike, making these uncomfortable comments that just don't sit right. She's telling him how handsome he is, wondering out loud if Amarachi even deserves someone like him. At first, Amarachi brushes it off because Ngozi has always been the type to speak before thinking. Very expressive, never filters anything that comes to her mind. But then the comments keep coming and getting worse. Ngozi starts with this lingering touches whenever she's around Chike, calling him late at night, asking for work advice, making flirtatious jokes and calling it banter. One evening, Chike is at their family house for dinner when Ngozi randomly announces to everyone, "If you ever mess this up, I'll be first in line." Everyone laughs like it's a joke, but Amarachi feels this cold dread creeping up her spine. That's when she remembers the incident from 5 years ago when Ngozi's best friend had this massive fallout because Ngozi had been sleeping with the girl's boyfriend behind her back. Amarachi thought Ngozi had learned her lesson and seemed genuinely repentant, but now she's wondering if her sister is about to pull the same stunt again. The stakes are crystal clear. Amarachi could lose the piece of her upcoming marriage and potentially her relationship with her only sister if she confronts Ngozi and she's wrong. She creates a family war. If she ignores it and she's right, she watches her marriage crumble before it even starts. For Chike, he's looking at being dragged into a scandal that could destroy Amarachi's trust and his reputation. But Ngozi isn't stopping there. This girl's actions become bolder by the day. She starts going to the same gym as Chike, and we're talking about someone who never cared about fitness before in her life. She's showing up there in this provocative outfits that leaves nothing to imagination. Then she begins sending him selfies during the day with captions like "looking pretty" and "just showing my brother-in-law what true beauty looks like." The worst part is when she starts showing up uninvited in Chike's workplace, claiming she's bringing him lunch every single time. Chike refuses her advances and keeps these encounters to himself because he doesn't want to embarrass Amarachi. But Ngozi reads his silence as weakness, thinking it's only a matter of time before he gives in to her advances. Chike becomes this paranoid version of himself, withdrawing from everyone. He stops visiting the family house alone, only going there with Amarachi. Whenever Ngozi visits their place, he always finds some excuse to leave the house. Amarachi senses something is terribly wrong, but he hides behind work stress excuses. Ngozi notices his discomfort and decides to exploit it completely. If she can't have him willingly, she would take away his reason to reject her. She leans into his discomfort, deliberately creating situations where they're alone together. If she hears Amarachi is running late from work, she drops by unannounced. At family functions, she lingers in doorways, forcing him to brush past her. The more he avoids her, the more she taunts him. A week before the wedding, Chike is driving home after a family meeting when Ngozi corners him in the parking lot. She tells him straight up that she could make him happier than Amarachi ever would, and nobody has to know about it. This time, Chike firmly rejects her and threatens to tell her sister if she doesn't back off immediately. On the morning of the wedding, Chike is in his hotel room at Echo Hotels, adjusting his cufflinks and preparing for the biggest day of his life. There's a knock at the door and he assumes it's his best man, so he opens it without checking. He's completely shocked when Ngozi slips inside, wearing nothing but a silk robe. She locks the door behind her and says she came to wish him luck in person. Before he can even speak, she places her hands on his chest. Chike grabs her wrist, forces her towards the door, and tells her never to try this again. Even after the incident, he still doesn't tell Amarachi anything about what's been happening. Now here's where everything goes completely wrong. One evening, when Amarachi is stuck in a work meeting with a demanding client, Ngozi shows up at their house, claiming she needs to collect something she left there. She finds Chike eating dinner alone and sees this as a perfect opportunity. When Chike excuses himself to to take an important call, she drugs his drink with sleeping pills she stole from their mother's medication cabinet. Her plan is to stage a compromising situation and take photos to blackmail him into leaving Amarachi. But the pills don't work the way she expects. Instead of knocking Chike unconscious, they make him drowsy and confused. When he realizes what's happening and tries to leave, Ngozi becomes desperate and enraged. She grabs a kitchen knife and threatens him, screaming, "If I can't have you, she can't either. I'll tell everyone you tried to rape me." In the struggle that follows, Chike pushes her away to protect himself. Ngozi falls backward, hitting her head on the sharp corner of their marble center table. She dies instantly from the head trauma. Chike immediately calls Amarachi, finally confessing everything. The months of harassment, why he's been avoiding family gatherings, the threats, and now this tragic accident. Amarachi rushes home to find her sister's body and her husband in complete shock. They call the police together. During the investigation, Ngozi's phone reveals months of obsessive messages, inappropriate photos, and internet searches about drug interactions and dosages. The case gets ruled as accidental death during an attempted assault. Amarachi has to face the devastating truth about her sister while supporting her traumatized husband. She realizes that her attempts to keep peace and protect the family's reputation had actually enabled Ngozi's dangerous escalation. At the funeral, their parents weep uncontrollably for their lost daughter. Amarachi and Chike stand there completely numb, the only ones who truly know what caused Ngozi's death. They keep the gory details from their parents, only saying it was a tragic accident. Now let me tell you something important about all of this. When you see red flags in people's behavior, especially when it involves your relationship or marriage, don't ignore them hoping they'll go away. Sometimes the people closest to us are the ones capable of causing the most damage. Trust your instincts. Have those difficult conversations early and never let anyone make you feel guilty for protecting what is yours. Peace at any cost isn't really peace at all.